Autonomous vehicles are kind of a hot topic right now. But have you ever stopped to think about how they recognize obstacles, road signs, and pedestrians and other things in the street? You might be surprised to learn that this process, called deep learning, works very similarly to how your brain learns about the world around you. Hi, I'm Chase Pearson, and today we're going to learn about deep learning and how deep neural networks learn about the world around them. So what is deep learning? Well, deep learning is a subcategory of machine learning, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like, machines learning to think for themselves. The key difference between traditional machine learning and deep learning is that deep learning tries to model human brain activity. Deep learning is implemented using deep neural networks and artificial neural networks, which are composed of nodes organized into separate layers. The first layer of this network represents the inputs, and the last layer represents that desired outputs, with each intermediate layer being consisted with a whole bunch of nodes that are linear or nonlinear combinations of the nodes in the previous layer. Without getting into the complicated math of how this works, the essential idea is that as inputs are passed in the first layer and progress through the network, different nodes light up, much like how the synapses in the brain are triggered when human brains learn about things. So let's get into the process of how a deep neural network works. The first step is to actually build the network. This consists of identifying the inputs, which can be numeric variables, pictures, video stream. Identifying the output is the next step. This can be a single numeric output, such as the price of a house, miles per hour, or it could be many outputs, such as the number of pedestrians in a photo, the number of cars in a photo, street lights, road signs, etc. The next step is to choose the number of layers and how many nodes go in each layer. Now, this is where the math gets tricky, and actually a lot of this is handled by software libraries and other tools to take stress off of software developers and implementers of deep neural networks. The next step is to train the neural network. This consists of feeding lots of data to the neural network that have both inputs and outputs labeled. This would look like giving the neural network hundreds of thousands or even millions of pictures with pedestrians and cars and obstacles in it, labeling where these obstacles are at, and then running it through the network so it can start to light up these synapses and learn which inputs trigger which synapses or nodes. The next step, which is sometimes used and sometimes cut out, is the grading step or supervised training. This is where you train the network by giving it lots of input but not labeling it, letting it think on its own, light up these nodes, and see what the output is, and then grade this output or mark it as correct or incorrect. Final step is where the network is released out into the wild and can analyze data on its own, label output, and provide results. So a recap of those steps: first, you have to build the network. Next, you train the network on data that's labeled with both inputs and outputs. Third, you grade or supervise the system as it runs. And fourth, you can release it out into the wild to learn about the world on its own. Deep learning is a really exciting field, and it's the first time where we as a software community have really been able to teach machines to learn in a natural, biologically modeled way, and has learned computers to learn about the world and gain a deeper and more thorough understanding than ever before. Thank you.